Hey there! Welcome to Hey Hedgehog. You can call me Hedge. Today, we're going to be talking about Axie Infinity, but more specifically, Carl. Meet Carl. He's a bug. The way Axie Infinity's meta works is the game is divided into classes that are all strong and weak against each other. Bugs, much like beasts, are strong against plants, reptiles, and dusks, but are weak against birds, aquas, and dawns. While beasts are considered to be very beginner-friendly, bugs as a class are a little more nuanced, requiring special skill. But if you are able to tap into their power, you can become a fearsome opponent to fight against, often forcing the opponent into submission and surrender. Let's look over the traits and skills Carl has. Right off the bat, you can see he is neither tanky or fast. In fact, he is rather slow, and does not appear to do very much damage. But do not let superficial looks deceive you. Behind the facade is a dangerous force in mind to be reckoned with. To start, he carries a snail shell on his back with Sticky Goo, which acts as a defensive shield that allows you to stun opponents should they break through. He carries a Mite Bite that can become very mean when comboed with another card, dealing meaningful amount of damage, especially for a zero-cost energy card, which is critical to have in a 1 vs 1 situation. With his third glance, he is able to unleash his most devastating maneuver, which also provides a generous amount of protection, and causes the opponent to discard a card from their hand. When played correctly, it disrupts the opponent and causes them to find alternate means to face you. Finally, he carries the tail of a Graveland. This weak but powerful tool will cause any unfortunate pugilist to reach a slow demise, as it renders even the most powerful Dust Terminators harmless. Played in tandem with a well-built team, he can serve as an excellent utility backliner that will help clutch your way to victory. That said, let's see him in action. Right off the bat, we are faced with a team that features a Terminator in the back, defended by a self-healing Aqua and a Yam tank with high damage capabilities. It is always advisable to review the deck your opponent is working with, so you know what you are up against and are not met with any surprises later on. With this hand to start, I opt to provide myself with as much defense as possible, as to stonewall my opponent from making their way towards my high damaging midliner. We steal energy from each other, while he sprays his poison and I draw a card. As you can see, my Tri-Spike Reptile now has a full clip and can easily take out one of their unsuspecting Axie, but first, I must acquire more energy to do so. To safeguard against the opponent's threat, I use Carrot Tail, which acts as a slight defensive maneuver and insurance policy. The Aqua moves to utilize his Branch Charge, which is a beast maneuver that will deal additional damage to my plant, taking out his shield while giving me my energy back. His plant opts to continue to spray me with poison, perhaps suspecting I would have gone further in on my attack. I now have enough energy to complete my Tri-Spike combo to ensure a kill, and use my remaining energy for Pumpkin as defense to keep my plant in the game. I am in no rush to let my plant go, so I opt to use as much energy as possible on him for defense while using Carrot Tail as insurance to gain energy back, expecting the opponent to lay into him. The reason being, I know my opponent has serious Vegetable Bite, which they can use to steal any energy I may attempt to store. And so it looks like the game plan worked. While they are able to gain 1 energy back with Nemo Tail, their double serious Vegetable Bite yields nothing. It does just enough damage to grant myself energy back, but not enough for his reptile to finish the job. This puts the opponent into an annoying situation where they still have to get through my plant in order to deal any damage to my high damage output midliner. I opt to take the fight to them, however, as Carl is hungry for the 1 vs 1 situation with the Terminator reptile. They manage to stun my midliner, which causes Disarm to miss. Terror Chomp still goes through, however, allowing Carl to nearly finish the job. Counting cards and energy is critical in order to succeed in battle. We know he has already spent 1 of his healing cards and therefore only has 1 left until he redraws. We must do enough damage to eliminate him as a threat so we can proceed to victory with the reptile. They expend 3 energy in order to take my reptile into last stand, while we eliminate their Aqua with Numbing Lecretion. All I need to do now at this point is use Gravel Land. This reptile is what is referred to as a Terminator reptile build. As you can see, every card they have is a melee type card. Since Gravel Ant disables their cards, this puts the otherwise oppressive Terminator into a no-win situation. Carl is able to unleash the full force of his power, dominating the opponent with ease and 0 worry. For our next battle, we are faced with a Plant, Reptile, and Beast. The Plant has the ability to self-heal and disable mouth cards. Note that the team has a couple of ways to take your energy. Sometimes, it is advisable to discard cards from their hand early on as to disrupt their game plan for rounds 2 and 3. While normally you might play your plant's cards in order to get maximum defensive value, the stakes are far too high when they are stacked with 7 energy and multiple different ways to steal yours. Let's use all of our energy and play our combo, chaining Mite Bite with Terror Chomp for the fear effect. I have no energy to steal or destroy. Note that it will say energy destroyed regardless of whether or not they have energy. Critical hits can be lovely when they are in your favor. Always be mindful of the cards they have played thus far, and the energy they have, so you can proceed into the second act of battle with a solid game plan. For example, they have yet to play Tri-Spike, and have more than enough energy and cards in order to execute. Their reptile's Katara Bite will serve useless, however, as they will only gain energy back if they attack into an Axie faster than them. In this particular case, given the hand that I have, it is best to pass. Should I use any cards on my reptile, this will cause them to target Carl instead. Aha! And it seems we were able to read their mind effectively. They attack into my reptile, but that's okay. Ouch! With my reptile now in last stand, the situation seems extremely dire now. Carl will be forced to move in order to sway the match back into his favor. Using shield prematurely may bring an unfortunate consequence later on, so I opt to do as much damage as I can with my zero-cost energy card and Mite Bite, while also disabling the reptile's melee attacks. With 5 energy and a sizable hand, Carl must go on the all-out offensive in order to turn this into a 1 vs 1 situation and win the game. The beast goes on the attack, and it looks like he's able to do a chunky amount of damage. Thankfully, Carl's snail shell allows the beast to miss when he tries to steal my energy. It's Carl's turn now. The high morale of a bug also allows them to hit critically more often. Ooh, almost there, but not quite enough. Note the reptile is still unable to use any melee attacks thanks to the power of Graveland. This is a rather tricky situation to deal with indeed. Should he play his ranged attack successfully, I may not do enough damage to pierce his shield and take the kill. It may be wise to play it safe and combo your shield with Mite Bite for double damage. Ah, we claim it. Now it is time for the moment of truth. Let's shield up as much as possible, deal as much damage as we can, while also disabling the melee threat for the victory. He goes on the offense. As we've used all of our energy, there is nothing he can claim. Now, it's our turn. Despite the beast having more health and damage output than us, he has been tamed and grants us victory by submission. One more battle for the road, shall we? A triple aqua team with the name Free SLP for You. Interesting, but as we know in the competitive arena, just because they say that does not mean you should let your guard down. Oftentimes, the opponent will employ tricks any way that they can in order to cheapen their way to victory. These are called mind games. Of course, get into the habit of observing every card the opponent has. As expected of a frontliner, their front-facing aqua is very tanky and has energy gaining capabilities. Their mid holds energy gaining abilities as well as beast damage in order to tear through the plant's defense. And finally, their backliner has a zero cost in Cock-a-Doodle-Doo, which is one of the best cards in the game to have for your backline in PvP. A team overall you should not sleep on. Aquas in general are strong against bugs, able to flush them out easily. Therefore, we must play with careful precision. I play a single discard card in order to interrupt their gameplay early on. Not the most ideal beginning hand, as it is unfortunate our plant doesn't have much to work with, but Carl doesn't mind having a full clip. Let's do it again. He opts to lay into my tank as hard as possible. Because my tank was unshielded, he is unable to gain any energy from Nemo. I now have plenty of energy and cards on my reptile. Something is going to die. Note that their entire deck at this point is comprised of offensive melee cards. A single Graveland, played with as much damage as possible on the reptile, would be a solid play here. midline Aqua has now been tamed. As you can see, it can do nothing. The kill with my reptile is almost guaranteed, but with the highest damaging card in my hand being a bud card, a critical hit is needed. Just in case, I will throw out a single Gravelant as an insurance measure to keep up the heat. There we go. Gravelant disables all of their cards, and it seems the opponent has yielded in submission to the dominating power of Carl. If you enjoyed this video's content, be sure to give it a like, smash that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to know when there's more. You can also follow me on Twitter, and watch me play live on Twitch. Thank you for watching and all the support. See you later, Hedgehog Army!